What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, the new subscribers, likes, comments, feedback. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. These guys, I see why they don't let Youngblood talk. Right? Youngblood is the reasoning of voice, but they don't like Youngblood. They don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to hear the truth, right? They've already formulated, made all these scenarios, all this picture. They've already said, I did this, I did that, I did this, I held this, I did that. Well, you have the case number. You have the case number. Go review the case and see what my role was. All right. What was my role in that case? Since y'all want to sit up there and spin Charlotte's Web, y'all's own narrative, why do that while y'all all along been having the case number with y'all? June acts like he just barely received my background. Right? They've been having my background for months. For months. But it was like a bargaining chip. A bargaining chip or intimidating chip or look, this is what we got. But in reality, you have nothing, right? So instead of spinning your own shit. Instead of spinning your own narrative, read the documents. Read the documents and you can see my role, right? What role did I play in the case? What was my role? Since y'all painted this picture of me being a monster and this and that and whatnot, right? Y'all have the case number. Y'all have the case number. Instead of trying to spin any kind of narrative, pull up the case and show me what my role was. Was I the aggressor? Was I the snitch? Was I the victim? What was my role in the case? That's all you have to do. You don't have to sit there and twiddle your fingers and spin narrative, Charlotte's Web, and not truth, right? Because the truth is there. The truth is there. But y'all choose not to look for the truth. Right? Read the documents. And then you can come and ask me what my role was in that case. Was I the victim? Was I the aggressor? Was I a witness? What am I? What is my role in that case? What's going on, Dejas? Hopefully you're having a good 4th of July, bro. I'm chilling, but just have to address all this issues, man. Like they got. That's all I'm asking. Instead of y'all painting me in this negative picture that y'all have already painted me in, read the documents. In those documents, that case number is going to show you transcripts, statements, reports. It's going to tell you everything. It is going to tell you why the state of Texas gave me a no bill. Right? But you have to do your homework. The truth, y'all been having the truth, right? But what do y'all do? Y'all sit there and want to paint a picture. I get it. But if you're going to paint the picture, paint it with honesty and truth. Don't just say, I'm the aggressor, right? Because you're painting me like if I'm an aggressor. Read the documents. Clarify to myself and everybody else what my role was in that felony case, that case. What's my role? Was I a lookout, a witness, a snitch, the aggressor? What was my role? What was my role in that case? Because you're showing a case where I've been vindicated by the state of Texas, right? I didn't have to go through the motions of defending myself. See, people that been in the criminal justice system, they know about paperwork. They know how it works. They know what it means, right? And on certain situations, the state of Texas is not going to give just anybody a no bill on those type of allegations. No state, especially in Texas. If there's a hint of guilt, Texas wants his pound of flesh. That's the thing, man. That y'all running with the document that has cleared my name, right? A no bill, the state clears your name for you, right? They looked over the case, they looked over the evidence, they looked over the witness testimony, they looked over everything, and they feel that you're not part of it. They don't have a case to build on you. When they don't have a case to build on you, fuck. In these situations, all you need is the testimony of a victim. That in itself is sufficient evidence to get a case built on your ass. It's no different than right now, a random female says you did something to her. They're going to come and look into you and pick your back. You're going to pick your ass up. You're going to get picked up. You might even have to go through the motions. Right? You might have to go post a bond. You have the case number. Pull up the transcripts. Pull up all the documentation that's on that case number. Because once again, it's public knowledge. It's public information, right? You have my real name, Noel Martinez. You have my background. You have the case number. Pay the fee. Go get it. It's public knowledge. You want me to wait for you for you to get to those? Or you going to take them right away? Wait for you. So, read the transcripts. Tell me what my role was, right? What was my role in it? Don't just show half of the documents, right? Right now, you showed a charge, and then you showed the no bill, right? So now, go in there. I'm talking about mine, Texas. Right. I'm talking about mine. Right. There. I got a case, right? That I had nothing to do with it. Nothing. Nothing. Other than being the name on the lease. I can't even remember what was the hotel or apartment. One of the two. Right. Because I never got arrested for any of it, right? I never got picked up. Right. There's no mugshot. There's no. All there is a document right there, right? Because when they go and they open up that case, there's nothing in that case, right? There's no statements of me saying any kind of statements. Not that I remember, right? There's nothing that's going to paint me in a negative light, right? Because if there was anything in those documents, the state of Texas would have not have no-billed me. It would have convicted me. They would have said, "Oh, no. You're as guilty. You're guilty. No. Especially when it has to do with a charge like that, right? When your name gets thrown in there, it's an obligation for them to do their job and look into it, right? It's an obligation. It's a serious crime, horrific, right? So the state of Texas is going to do their due diligence. They're going to catch everybody that was involved in a crime. Either you participated knowingly, unwillingly, you were involved, you knew, you knew, and you decided not to tell. One way or another, you're going to be held. You were in the car, you're guilty. Somebody robbed somebody and you're along with them, you're going to be guilty too. So if it's a crime of multiple people, everybody's most likely going to go down for the ride. Everybody. When the state of Texas has a hint of guilt, they will build a case against you. The state of Texas will not let nobody get off the hook with those type of allegations. They will not. That's the thing people have to understand. Now y'all brought out the allegation and y'all brought out the no bill, right? Now y'all got to bring in all the paper in between that, right? Bring out the transcripts. What was my role? Because y'all are saying my role is holding somebody down against their will, or holding somebody hostage, holding them, right? Holding them down or holding them against the will, doing the most horrific and horrendous stuff somebody can think about, right? That's what y'all saying I'm doing. That's the picture y'all have painted. So now that y'all show the beginning and the end, show the middle. Show the middle. Y'all shown the beginning of the charge, right? Y'all shown the no bill. So now show in between. Don't just pick and choose what documents you want to use. Right? Show the people. Prove it to the people that I am this monster that you say I am. That I held people against the will. I forced myself upon them. Because that's the picture y'all have painted. And if you can show the beginning of the case, and then you can show the end of the case, why not do your research and show the middle of the case, the most important? That way you can really understand my role. What was my role? Was I a lookout? Because everybody in the case plays a role. What was my role? What was my role in the case? Don't just show the beginning and show the end. Go to the middle. What was my role? And when I say role, how did I participate in that case? Was I the aggressor? Was I a lookout? Was I a witness? Everybody plays a role in a case. When somebody goes and robs a bank, you got the guy waiting in the car, right? You got the driver / lookout. And then you got the actual people doing the robbery. All right. So in that case, you can understand, right? You can see who's playing what position. What was my position in the case? What position? Did I play quarterback? What is my position, right? What role did I play in that case? Don't just paint a picture by expressing your opinion, right? Because that's all it is. It's your opinion. Because so far you shown a charge and a no bill, right? So now you have to show what's in between those two documents. What was my role? Since you're saying that I'm the aggressor, you have the case number right there. You have the case number. Go and populate the case. And go see what my role is. What was my role? Since y'all saying all this stuff, right? You show one paperwork, but don't want to show the other paperwork. You show one to paint your narrative. That's why y'all don't like Youngblood over there, right? Youngblood is the sound of reasoning. Youngblood is telling the truth. What does Youngblood get out of telling the truth? That's why every time they only let Youngblood on when Youngblood is acting the fool. They're happy when Youngblood's cussing left and right like a sailor. They're happy. All right. Youngblood going lit. Youngblood going lit. Youngblood going off. Right. They like that. Right. But when Youngblood is trying to be the voice of reasoning, he gets muted. He gets overtalked. Right. I see this. Youngblood sees it. Nobody wants to hear the truth, the voice of reasoning. Nobody, right? So, y'all got the paperwork. Go find what my role was. Black and white don't lie. Read the document. What was my role in that case? How did I participate in that case? Because apparently having a no bail for you is not, it's not enough, right? It's not enough. So maybe if you take the time and go read the transcripts or whatever documents are tied into that case number, maybe you get a bigger idea or bigger picture of what really went on, right? Instead of making these assumptions of what ifs of this could have happened, that happened, without no solid truth. Everything I say about Mark Moore, it's his own confessions, right? Everything I say about Mark Moore, it's his confessions. But since they got that document, pull out the rest of the documents. Show the people that I am that monster that you say I am, right? Show them with the paperwork. Show them with the paperwork, right? The transcript, show them. Don't just show them the charge in the no bail situation, right? If you want to know why it was no bailed, go read the documents. And if you don't believe me, the documents will tell you why I was no bailed. Right? It would answer you the questions, right? It would clearly tell you why the state of Texas gave me a no bail in this case. What would it cost for me to get a no bail in such a horrific, horrendous type of case? Did I snitch on somebody? Was I a victim? The aggressor? A witness? A puppet master? What was my role? What was my position? Right? What did I play? How was I able to get a no bail from the state of Texas? A not guilty? How? How? What did I do? What did I do to get a no bail? That's the things you have to research, right? Because if I tell you, you're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me. All I can do is tell you to go to Dallas County, type in that case number, and populate whatever you can from that case. So if you want to know why the state of Texas gave me a no bail, it would clearly tell you in those documents. All right? It would clearly tell you. Read the documents. All you're showing is a charge and a not guilty by the state of Texas. A no bill, right? So now you got to question yourself. Why did I get a no bill? Why? What did I do to get a no bill? What was my role? Why did the state of Texas feel I was not involved or had enough to build a case on me? Why? What did I do for me to get a no bill? Ask yourself. Ask. Read the documents. There's only way a person gets a no bill. There's two ways, right? There's two ways. One, you're not guilty. Two, you snitch, right? Isn't that how it works a lot of times? If you snitched on somebody, you get a lesser charge. That's how the criminal system works, right? How did I get a no bill? You have to read the documents, right? Read the documents for you to fully understand why the state of Texas gave me a no bill. Don't just show the beginning and the end. Show the middle. Show the most important stuff. Show the stuff that can paint the picture of what you're trying to paint me as. Show the middle stuff. Show me my position, my role in the case. What was my role? Was I a lookout? Was I the aggressor? Was I a lookout? What position did I play? What was my position? That's the thing you have to ask. All right. Do your homework. Dallas County is public information. It's public. It's open to the public. All you have to do is type in the name, and it'll not even the name. You got the case number. That case number should populate and tell you everything that's in that case. Who, what, when, where. That case number will tell you everything. It will tell you my role. Right? So don't just show paperwork. Show it all. Go look and understand why I got no bill. The case is right there, the case number. You got the case number. You can populate all the documents that are tied in to that case number. If there's any police reports, bond hearings, court hearings, statements, it's all in that case file. All right. Love you, puppy. Have a good time. So, you have to look at why I got a no bill. All right. What were the circumstances for me to get a no bill? All right. Read the documents. The case that they're showing over there on June's channel, right? The case that they got over there, right? That case, they need to go into more detail, right? And when I say detail, I don't mean them spinning their own narrative, right? There's a case number right there. Inside that case number will tell you everything tied into that charge. And there you will see what my position was, right? Why? What role did I play? So people will be able to see and make their own conclusion, right? Make your own conclusion, but bring the facts to the table. Right? Don't just bring up the beginning and the end. Go look, read the papers, and you'll see why the state of Texas gave me a Nobel. It's on black and white. Right? All you have to do is take your time and read. Go through it. It's that simple. Right? The thing is, I've never denied it, right? Because there's nothing for me to be ashamed of, right? I know I didn't do nothing shady, right? I can live with myself, right? So I don't have nothing to be ashamed for, right? Yes. Does it suck that my name is tied into something like that? Yes, it is, right? It is. But at the same time, if it really mattered, you would take the time and look up the case, read the documents, and then you would see what my role in all the case was, right? What was I? What was I? Was I the aggressor? What was my role in the case? That's it. Apparently, I'm not the aggressor, right? Because I got a Nobel, right? I wasn't the aggressor, right? Because if I was the aggressor on any criminal case, that's automatically grounds for a case, right? Especially with the victim testimony, right? A victim testimony is so powerful that a random person can say something you did right now and they're come picking you up. They're looking into it. I got a Nobel for a reason. What was the reason I got the Nobel? Apparently, not because I'm the aggressor. Okay, then what other role is there? You have to go down the roles, right? Was I a participant? Was I a lookout? What role, other than not being involved, would I be? If I'm not the aggressor, I'm not the lookout, I'm not a witness, all those, a witness, an aggressor, a participator, all those three are grounds for a case to be built on somebody. All right. So you have to go read the documents, make your own sound of mind conclusion to see why I got Nobels, right? Why the state of Texas felt to give me a Nobel. Because if I was an aggressor, I would have had a conviction. I would have had to probably gone post bond and fought that case. Had to prove my innocence. Right? I didn't have to do that. I did not have to do that. All right. This is a horrific crime. You either the aggressor, the participator, either way, a lookout, you're going down for it. All right. If you were involved somehow or another, a case will be built against you. The state will not give you a no bail. Right? So you have to sit there and ask yourself, what was my position? What was my role? Because just like I said, a random female, anybody can say you did something to them, and you might even have to go prove yourself innocence, right? You might have to go through the whole motions of posting a bond, going to court hearings to prove your innocence. That's the thing, man. Go read the documents. Show me. I don't see how that is, man. I don't see how that is because I don't have victims. Right? I don't have any victims. I don't know how they can compare me with Mark because I don't have victims, man. I don't have victims. Right? That's the difference. Right? If I had victims, I would have a conviction. Right? Or even uh kind of sexual deviancy charges, right, on my record. I don't have anything, right? I have an accusation that got cleared up. Uh, you can go type in the case number, and that case will tell you everything, right? It will tell you when, what, who, what my role was. So I don't see how they can compare me with Mark, right? That's. I don't have victims, right? I don't have victims, right? If I had victims, I would be convicted, right? I would be like Francisco, right? I would be a convicted, right? That's the difference, right? Mark self-admitted, right? That's two different things, right? It's too different, man. I don't have a victim, so you cannot compare me with that, right? I don't have. So Mark, on the other hand, he had victims, man. According to him, right? According to Mark, he has victims, right? According to Mark, 'cause we're based off the documentary. Mark had victims, right? Now you go and populate that case and read my description of what was my role. Every crime has a role. What was my role in it? That's the thing, man. That's the thing. You can sit there and show one paperwork and show another one, but you're just showing half of the story. That's not telling the whole story. Because you have to go look at those documents and see what my role was. Right? See, you have to go and do research, man, and it's not that difficult. Right? It's not that difficult to populate the cases, and they will tell you exactly what my role was. Right? It will tell you, was I the aggressor, witness, lookout, whatever my role was. What was my role in that case? You have to look at it, right? Why would the state of Texas give me a Nobel? Why? Why? That's the thing, right? That's why they can't, Youngbloods, the voice of reasoning, right? He understands it. He understands that if you want to know more, you research the case number, right? And that'll populate your transcripts, your court hearings. It'll populate everything, right? It won't just populate a charge, right? A charge is a charge, right? Doesn't mean it's a conviction, right? A charge, conviction. Now you have to go see why the state of Texas gave me a no bill. What were the grounds? What were the circumstances? Why? Why? Because there's nothing. What do you have? What do you have? You have no conviction. I have no convictions on my record, right? You were showing paperwork of Francisco because he had a conviction. This so-called Francisco had a conviction, right? I don't have a conviction. So if you go through my paperwork, it's not going to fit your narrative, right? You're not going to go along with, oh, he was charged, but the state of Texas found him innocent. Why did he find him innocent? Why? Why was he found innocent? A lot of people, oh, there wasn't enough evidence. Well, go read the documents. Go read the documents. Because the way y'all are portraying and make it seem like I'm a monster, man, I should be incarcerated. I should be incarcerated, man. And my real picture, a real Noel Martinez should be on the registry, right? Not no Francisco, right? Myself would be actual on the actual registry. But they're not going to go do that, right? They're just going to stick and wave those two little papers all day long, right? And make it seem like they got. So they don't have nothing. What do they have? What do they have? They have a charge and your name being vindicated. What else do you want? OJ got celebrated, right? When you're not guilty. No, but OJ did it. I think OJ, he really did that shit, right? He just got away with it because he had a lot of money. He had a lot of money to pay Kardashian and hire some pretty good attorneys. I didn't have to hire attorneys. You see? I didn't have to defend myself. Right? I didn't have to defend myself. Right? Only a guilty man defends himself. I did it. Right? See, there's outcome, right? There's outcome. There's three outcomes. There's either a not guilty, a guilty, or a no bill. Those are your three chances, right? Nobody gets a no bill, right? Unless you did not do the fucking crime. Because if you were involved with in one way or another, you're going for the ride. You're going for the ride, man. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. It's that simple, man. Go and research the rest of the documents. All you're showing is a charge and a vindication from the state of Texas, right? So now you have to go dig a little bit deeper and see what my role was, right? Why was I granted a no bill? Why? That's what people have to understand. And if I tell you, you're not going to believe me. So at this point, the only thing I suggest is go type in the case number, populate whatever transcripts come out of there, and go through them. Right? And it should tell you my role, right? Why? It'll answer all your who's, what's, where's, and where, and why, right? It's called journalism or content creation, right? Go thorough. Thorough. That way you can see, then you can really have proof of saying, look, he is a monster. Look what this report said he did. Right? Show that. Show paperwork of status like that, of stature, right? Show paperwork that shows what you're saying that I did. Because you're saying that I did all this horrendous stuff, right? Without even reading the transcripts. Without researching the case. All right. That's what you call biased journalism. Bias, right? Because not everything is what you see. It's bias, right? Because you see something and you're like, damn, could it be true? Well, it says this document said he got cleared. He was found not guilty by the state of Texas. Well, let me look into a little bit more. Let me see what the court system say. Let me see what the transcripts say. Let me see what his role was. What role did he play in that case? For the state of Texas to give him a no bill. Like I said, man, they don't give no bills just to anybody, man. Most of the time, man, the state of Texas is going to make you go through the motions. Most of the time, state of Texas is going to make you go through the motions of proving yourself innocent, right? But they also understand those charges, right? They also understand those charges, right? That when me being 18, they see that like, damn, this can ruin this kid's life for the rest of his life, right? If he didn't do it, there's no pattern in his history of being any kind of sexual deviant. So when the state of Texas, man, wants to convict you, they're going to convict you, man. All right. So you have to go in there, read, right? Make your own conclusion. I've never denied that charge, right? I've never denied it, man. Because I know the truth, right? I know the truth. I know I have nothing to be ashamed of. I have nothing to be I'm proud of, right? It's like there's nothing, right? I think the most on my record is, maybe the domestic violence, right? That's, I mean, that in itself, to me, but I don't have any, sexual deviancy, not even as a juvenile, not even as an adult. I don't have no fucking jack off cases in prison. I don't have any kind of deviancy in my record or history, man. So, and you see that other dude, that other guy, this dude. See, now this dude, he got convictions, man. He's a registered offender, right? He caught his case at 10 years old on a 5-year-old victim, right? Now, if I was to populate his case, it would tell me everything that happened to that 5-year-old victim, right? It would tell you what he did to that 5-year-old victim for him to be labeled and get charged and be convicted as a registered sex offender, right? They're not going to play with it in Texas. This guy, I don't know who he is, right? He got fucked up charges apparently, right? He got fucked up charge. He's convicted, right? Whatever he did, you can pull up his case and it'll tell you what he did to his victims to get convicted. You pull up Mark Moore's case and it will tell you why he went to prison for. Who was his victim? Where he shot his victim at? How, why, who, what, when, where? Time and date, right? It will tell you why he got convicted. Right? So my records would tell you why I got a no bail. Right? It's going to tell you why the state of Texas felt they should give me a no bail. Why? Right? Why would they give an 18-year-old kid a no bail? Why? It's a horrific charge. Look at the way y'all painted me. But the state of Texas didn't paint me in that light. And they had my life in their hands. Right? The state of Texas could have painted me in any kind of way they wanted, right? They could have painted me in the same light that y'all are painting me in, right? With the documents they have at hand. Right? But what did they do with the documents at hand that they had? They gave me a no bill, right? So now it's for you to go in there and research and be like, why did they give this guy a no bill? What is so special about Noel? Why would the state of Texas give him a no bill? Why? What did I do? Did I snitch on somebody? Did I tell on somebody? Maybe I told on somebody, right? I don't know. Go look into the document. Did I tell on somebody? How did I get a no bill? Or maybe simply I had nothing to do with it. But the simply I had nothing to do with it is just not, it doesn't fit your agenda or your narrative, right? It doesn't fit. So you're going to have to go with the worst of the worst. I get it. I get it, right? It's understandable. You're trying to normalize the deviancy, right? With Mark Moore. I understand that. I understand it. Right? Maybe what gave the state of Texas to give me a pass on such a horrific charge? It's a fucking horrific. It's a fucked up charge, right? But why would make the state of Texas give me a no bill? If y'all have painted me in the light, okay, the same light that y'all painted, the same picture that y'all painted to the people on YouTube, why didn't the district attorney see that same picture? That same picture that y'all are painting me on social media, why didn't the district attorney that had all the evidence, witness testimony, had all the facts, felt that I deserve a no bill? Not a not guilty plea, not a not guilty, a no bill. There's a lot of difference, right? No bill, the state does the work for you, right? As they're doing their work, trying to build the case, they're like, oh, there's no case here. There's no case here. We don't have no case. Because if they have an increment of a guilt, they want their pound of flesh. Look at the crime, man. Look at the charge. Look at the charge. So you're telling me that the district attorney of Texas didn't do their job, right? That they just gave me a no bill for no reason. Hey, here you go, man. Congratulations. Go about your business. Good luck. You won the lottery. Nobody in reality gets a no bill, man. Like I said, it's almost like you either had a snitch on somebody maybe tell on somebody, right? Maybe you pointed the finger at somebody and said, "Oh no, we're good. This guy no bill, not guilty for him," right? Or maybe simply, I had nothing to do with it, right? I'm not involved. But can't handle the truth, man. The truth is not, it doesn't fit your agenda. The charge does. The charge does. You go there and feed off of that, antagonize that, and feed off of that, right? But a smart person, a real person that likes content and considers himself a real journalism, will go and do the work, right? And you will go see what my role was in that case. What was my role? And then you can paint. Then you can have a clearer picture of why I got no bill, right? Because, like I told you, the only reason you're gonna get a no bill in reality is because if you're a tattletale or you're not guilty from the beginning. Two options. So now I gave you more ammunition, right, to go. Now I'm actually forcing you to go do your homework, right? Because now you can go and do your reading, and you might get lucky and be able to put a snitch jacket on me, right? Go do your homework. Go find out why the state of Texas gave me a no bill. Why? Why would they bless me with that, right? On such a horrific crime. Charge, right? It's a charge, right? It's horrific. Horrific. Now ask yourself, if something such horrific happened, why did the state of Texas give me a no bill? Under what circumstances, right? What did I do? Did I stroke off the judge, the DA? What did I do? Did I sell my soul? What did I do for me to get blessed with the no bill on such a crime? Charge, right? What did I do? Because if I'm the aggressor, as y'all paint the picture, I would have had a conviction, right? If y'all, if the state would have paint the same picture y'all painting me in as we speak, I would have had a conviction, man. But see, that's the difference between you and the state of Texas. The state of Texas is dealing with facts, right? And the truth, right? That's the difference, right? They're dealing with the truth, and you're dealing with what ifs, assumptions, and just talking out your ass. That's it. That's all you're doing, right? Because you have to go and ask the real question, right? If I'm this type of monster, why don't I have a conviction on my record? Why did the state of Texas feel to give me a no bill? On what circumstances, right? I already told you two circumstances. Those are two guaranteed circumstances, right? In any kind of crime, right? Isn't that why people start calling people snitches? Because they were in a crime together and one got off and the other one didn't go do time. Isn't that why they call people snitches? Because usually people get caught together and for some reason one gets to go home and the other one gets to go do time. Why? I don't know. Did I snitch? Did I snitch on Pollo Loco, Joker? That the state of Texas granted me a no bill? What were the circumstances of me getting a no bill, right? It's not a conviction. It's not a not guilty plea. I didn't have to prove my innocence. Right? I didn't have to prove it. Based off their investigation, based off their detective work, based off their interviews, based off whatever they had to do, they felt I was entitled to a no bill. Why? I guarantee you, most of y'all have never heard of a no bill. A no bill. Most of y'all have never heard of it, right? Until you go and you do your research and you go, well, oh, that's what it means, right? They don't hand them out, right? That's like winning the lottery, man. When the state declares you innocent without you having to waste a dime of your money, right? Without you having to step of a day in a courtroom, a bond hearing, when the state does it for you, because that's what a no bill is, right? You have to understand what a no bill. A no bill is where the state says you're innocent, right? You didn't do what they said you did. It's a no bill. So now that you have all the information, now you have to go in there and see why I got a no bill. Why did I get a no bill? Why? Apparently, I wasn't the aggressor, right? Because 9 out of 10 times the aggressor gets convicted, man. They're going to build a case. Like I said it already, man, if somebody randomly points you off the street and said you did something, 9 out of 10 times, man, you're going to have to go prove your innocence. And that sucks. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Right? So now you have to go hire an attorney, post a bond, and go through the motions in defending yourself, right? All on the allegations of somebody saying you did this, you did that, right? But when the state does it for you, why would the state do it for you? Why would the state be on the criminal side? Why? Maybe because I'm not a criminal, right? Maybe I'm not a criminal. At 18 years old, I didn't have a criminal background. I wasn't convicted yet, right? I got convicted at 19 for my burglary habitation. 18, I had a clean record. So why would the state, the district attorney, a jury of my peers give me a no bill? Why? Why? On such a horrific charge, right? As they paint it over there, right? They paint me as a monster holding people against their will. The worst of the worst, right? The worst of the worst. So ask yourself, don't ask yourself, type in the case number and read the documents. Let the people know what my role was, right? What was my position? You can't, right? You can't. There's nothing in those documents that I would be ashamed of. I didn't snitch on nobody. I didn't tell on nobody. All right. All that's there. The who, what, when, and where. It's all there. It's all there. Right. And that's all you have to do. Go see, right? Go see. Go see. A lot of people say, oh, maybe they didn't have enough evidence against you. Go see what evidence they had on me. Right. Because apparently, like I said, a random person says something off the street. That's all they need, man. That's all they need to start building a case. They don't need too much more than that, right? To start building a case. I guarantee you, man. I guarantee you that if a random person said something that you did to them, you would come and get booked in, looked into, and have to prove your innocence. All right. You're gonna have to go through the motions. It's that's sad. It's and that's the harsh reality. So to say that they didn't have enough evidence on me, and that's why I got a no bill, makes completely no sense, right? Because all you need is a testimony of a victim. Not even the testimony of a victim, right? All the victim has to do is point at you, right? All the victim has to do is point at you. And that's it, man. There is no what more evidence do you need after that, right? Now that after that, they'll start building and start looking for more physical, more is there any other evidence that we can bring into the discovery, right? Any, video, audio, anything. Is there anything else that we can use to build the case? We already have the victim's testimony. That's enough to get the case going. But as we get going, we're going to need more to solidify the case. It's good that we got the victim's testimony and we got the victim saying that he did this, he said that. That's good. But we also need more case. We need more. But that's enough to get the ball rolling. We got the victim. She's pointing the finger at him. That's enough to get the ball rolling. Right? The state of Texas is not going to give you a no bill. Right? They're going to make you go through the motions. They're going to make you clear your own name. You're going to have to come out of pocket for an attorney. So they can sit there and paint any kind of picture they want, but they got the documents, right? Right then in their hand, they got them. They got the case number. Go through the case number and see why. Why wasn't I convicted? Why did I get a no bill? Why didn't I get a lesser charge? Right? If it wasn't aggravated, what was it? Indecent exposure or some kind of lesser charge? What difference? Like what if it wasn't that, then what was my charge? Why did the state of Texas feel not to convict me or make me prove my innocence? Why? Two things, right? Two things. One, they were going to use me as an informant or to tell on somebody else, right? Or two, I basically just ain't got nothing to do with it, right? But which one sounds more juicy? Which one sounds more content, right? Maybe I snitched on Pollo Loco and Joker, right? Maybe I snitched to save myself, right? Damn, that sounds better, right? That sounds good, huh? What do you think about that one? Or maybe, or just maybe, the state of Texas said, this guy got nothing to do with it, right? But no, he ain't got nothing to do with it. No, we don't. That doesn't fit our agenda. That doesn't fit the narrative, right? Because what you're saying about me, the state of Texas didn't say that about me, man. They didn't say that about me, right? So what did I do? What did I do? What did I do for me to get? I already told you the options, right? Why would the state of Texas give me a no bill? Why? Did I snitch on Pollo Loco and Joker? Or what did I do, man? You ever thought about that? Why did I get a no bill? Why? Maybe you were right. Maybe I snitched on Pollo Loco and Joker. But you're not going to know until you go type in that case number, right? You're not going to know until you type in that case number, right? I'm not going to do your homework for you. Go type in the case number. Populate the documents that come off that case. I don't know, man. I could have, I probably got that Nobel for snitching on Pollo Loco. The Joker. I don't know who else he said. What other guy? I can't remember the other guy, right? He named a couple of guys that I snitched on, right? Is that why I got a Nobel? Why did I get a Nobel? Which is basically innocent. Why? I think it's becoming mysterious, right? Now you have to look into it, man. Maybe you can put that snitch jacket on me as well, right? Maybe I snitched on somebody. Maybe I gave somebody up for them to take the fall, right? You like the suspense? Maybe it was some cartel type of stuff. Wow. Some wild shit, huh? But see, they have to go see what the evidence was, right? Non-sufficient evidence, right? Let's agree that the most evidence a state requires is a victim's testimony. That's the number one thing that's going to get the ball rolling. A victim statement, right? A victim statement, either from a robbery, assault, any kind of crime, right? The victim statement is what's going to control the ball, right? In some situations, perfect example, domestic violence, right? You get a domestic violence, the state of Texas picks up the charge, right? The state, regardless of the victim not wanting to press charges against you, the state of Texas picks up those charges, right? Even though the victim doesn't want to participate no longer in the case, the state has enough physical evidence to still convict you, right? So the state will pick up the case, even without the victim. Okay? So when you say no evidence, what is evidence considered in a horrific case like that? What is considered evidence, right? When it's an assault case like that, you got witness, you got medical kits, you have a lot of documents to back that up, right? There's going to be audio, video, statements, victim testimony. The state of Texas will pick up charges without the victim. Here in Texas, the state does not need the victim to cooperate. Right? Ask anybody. Your girlfriend can go over there and say, I don't want to participate. Okay, you don't want to participate. Well, we still got enough to find him conviction. We got pictures, right? We don't need your statement. It would help, but we don't longer need it, right? We have evidence. We have kits. We have witness. There's all kinds of evidence. DNA, medical kits, right? They're going to tie you into this type of shit, man. And look at the case it is. Look at the charge. The state of Texas is going to do their due diligence, man. So now you got to ask yourself, Why would the state of Texas give an 18-year-old Mexican kid a no bill on such a crime, on such a charge, right? Because it's a charge. There was no crime. There was no crime, right? It's a charge. There was no crime, right? But you have to go read the documents, right? Read the documents, and then you would see what the actual crime was. That's why when I say charge, it's a charge. There's no crime, right? There is no crime, right? You have to be able to differentiate between a charge and a crime, right? A crime, it happened, right? There's nowhere in those documents that a crime happened. There's no crime, right? There's no crime. You can go and research that case. It's a charge without a crime, right? There's no crime in it. Go. That's why people are so right. It's a charge without a crime, right? If you don't believe me that there's not a crime, go read the documents, read the transcripts, and then and if you can show me where there's a crime, where there's somebody saying play by play, like Mark's on confession, going play by play, there would be a conviction, right? The way they painted myself, I should have been thrown under the fucking bus, man. I should have been thrown under the fucking prison, you know what I mean, in the dungeon, right? And that's the same thing the state of Texas should have looked at the documents, right? Because they have to review all the evidence. They have to. Victim at hand. What do we got? What do we have here? What do we have? 9 out of 10 times, a victim testimony is enough to get the ball rolling in any criminal case. I just told you right now, a perfect example. A random person can say you did something to them, and 9 out of 10 times it's going to be your obligation to prove your innocence, right? You're going to have to prove it's going to be your obligation to prove your innocence, right? So the statement of a victim or a victim has a lot of power, right? It has power to where they can go pick your ass up and interrogate you, right? That power, right? So when a victim statement said something of a horrific status like that, what do you think they're going to do, man? They're just going to brush it off. Who cares? No, they're going to look into it, right? They're going to look into the crime. And if there's a crime, people are going to get convicted. If they don't get convicted of that charge, they might plead out to a lesser charge, right? They might plead out to a indecent exposure or I don't know, right? I don't know what charges those other than what goes below those, right? But I'm pretty sure there's lesser charges, right? That would fall under that same category. Right. So you have to go and ask. Now, don't even ask, right? Because you can research these documents. You can research these documents where it'll clearly tell you the nature of the crime, right? Just like Mark painted us the picture in that documentary on step by step, caressing, rubbing him, walking him through the panic attack. If I was the same type of character, there would be statements on there, right? There would be documents describing my crime in detail, right? But I guarantee you, there's no crime. That's the difference, right? That's why I don't when I address it, address it as a charge, right? It's not a crime. A crime is when you can go in there and say it happened at this time, at this place, woo, 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 right? You can actually say it happened. A crime, right? A crime happened, right? So that's what all I ask, man. Before y'all pass judgment on a charge, 'cause that's all it is. It's not a conviction. It's not a plea of guilty. Uh, it's a charge. It's not a crime, right? My burglary of a habitation was a crime, right? Because you can go in there and it tells you what I did, at what time I did it, who I did it to, step by step, right? Now, on this other one, there's no such thing. There's no affidavit. There's no fucking uh there's nothing of such nature, right? That says that I did this at a certain time, or I did that at this time, I did this, or the nature of the crime, right? There is nothing of such, right? There's nothing. All there is a charge that got no build, right? A charge, no build, right? That's it. I didn't think too much of it because it's like, well, fuck, there was nothing. I didn't do nothing. It's nothing, right? It has never bothered me. It's never, uh, I never paid it any mind, right? Because it's like I don't have nothing to be ashamed of, man. Believe me, if I was having to be ashamed, I could have got that shit expunged. I could have had that document sealed, right? It's not a conviction. I can get that document wiped off, right? That's not nothing saying bad about me, right? I just never paid it no mind. It's just a document, right? It's something that I went through, right? It's not a crime, right? That's the difference, right? That's the difference. That's why I call it a charge. I don't call it a crime, right? There's no crime. There's no affidavits that you can populate and say I did this step by step. There isn't, right? There isn't. And the thing is, you have the case number right there. You have the case number. Anybody has the case number right there. And they can populate any kind of documents that come up on that case, right? That's that, that's all I ask, man. You know, it's a fucked up position to be, a charge to be your name to be tied into that. Yeah, I agree, man. But, the thing is, I've never, how can I say, I never denied that document, man. I never denied that charge, right? I never ran from it. I never said that wasn't me. That wasn't true, right? All I said was look into it, man. Because if I tell you my side of the story, you're not going to believe me, right? You're not going to believe me, right? So if you feel that there was a crime committed, you can read the police reports, read the affidavits, read the statements, and by you doing that should paint you a vivid picture, right? It should be the same picture that the district attorney got, right? The DA, because you're going to be looking at the same documents that the district attorney has looked at, right? And they based off my freedom off those documents, right? They based my freedom off those documents. So when you go and you look at those documents, you're going to have no choice but to realize that there's no crime happened, right? There's no crime because what you're going to be expecting is some gruesome, horrific timelines. At this time, this happened. At that time, this happened. But I guarantee you, there's no such thing, right? There is no such thing, bro. You think if I had something foul to be ashamed of, why would I show my face online, man? Why? Knowing that everything is public information. I came on here as Noel. I didn't come on here with no hidden agenda. I didn't come on here wearing a mask. I didn't come on here with the nickname. I came on here as my name, Noel. Right? Dante was able to pull up my information through my number, right? Because I called him from my number, right? So when I called him from my number, he was able to populate my information, right? He was able to see what my last name was, who I was, and he was able to go looking for information right there. Right. So when he came across that document, he thought he had struck gold, right? He thought he had struck gold. But I challenged, like I told him, man, you have my information. Go research. If you feel that there's a crime, because the state of Texas felt that there was no crime on my end, right? Because if the state of Texas would have felt I did something illegal or wrong, I would have a conviction, or at least a charge of a lesser. You know what I mean, right? It's like, they don't give you murder one, they'll give you a manslaughter, right? Or if they don't give you the manslaughter, they might give you aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, right? So there's ways of working your way down, right? You can work your way down. You can work your way down, right? I would have had a conviction of sort, right? A disposition of juvenile probation, shock probation, adult probation for a case of sexual deviancy. Somewhere on those lines, I would have something on my background, right? I have this charge. That's all it is, right? It was a charge that the state of Texas gave it a no bill. Why did it give it a no bill? Because there was no fucking crime. But that's too hard for people to comprehend, right? Because they're like, oh no, this guy's a mon. Well, if you're painting me in the same light, then why didn't the fucking why didn't the state of Texas see me in the same light? And they have the victim, the so-called victim that you say there is, right? Everybody else is trying to convict me on a charge. Why? The state of Texas has cleared me, right? So what you need to do is go look at the research and look at the documents of why Dallas County District Attorney felt there was no crime. Because you say, oh, a no bill means no evidence. Well, doesn't it mean there's no fucking crime? What does a no crime mean? What do you call a no crime? No evidence. Why isn't there no evidence? Because there was no fucking crime to begin with. Right? But no, it doesn't fit your agenda, right? It doesn't fit the agenda. You have to paint me in the worst thought, right? It's acceptable. I don't blame you. It's valid. It's valid, right? It's valid, right? At the same time, if somebody would come and present me with that, I would do my job and my due diligence before I call him a predator. I'd be like, oh, okay, let me go look up your file. Let me go look up the charge. Let me go look at the disposition. Let me go look at the transcripts. Let me go look at what your role was. right? Or you might have just left some evidence, or maybe they let you go because you snitched, or maybe they just didn't have enough evidence on you, right? So now you have to go in there and look at what evidence did they have to begin with. What evidence? What evidence? It's a fucking serious charge. That's all it is. A charge. Allegation. Right? Allegedly. Right? Like I said, anybody off the street can say you did something and it's going to be, if you're lucky, you might get a no bill, right? And they might just do it right then and there and see, look into it, and you might get blessed. If not, 9 out of 10 times you're going to have to go through the fucking motions of hiring an attorney, man. Posting bond, doing the whole nine, right? Going through the legal system. Court date here, going to report to the bond. That's what happens when the crime's been committed, right? But apparently, what do you want me to like? What do you want? Like 2006? What does 2006 have to do with anything, man? That charge is 2000. All right. That's all it is the charge. All right. No crime took place. That's the thing, man. That a lot of people think that there's a crime that was committed. There was no crime committed, right? I can't explain to you something that did not happen, right? Nothing happened, right? But you're not going to take my word for that. You're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me, right? You're not going to believe what I tell you, right? I'm already telling you that there's no crime happened, right? There's no victim, right? There's no victim. If you don't believe me that there's no victim, go read the transcripts. Go read everything that's in that file tied into that case number. And it's going to show you no crime, right? There's not going to be no timeline of me doing this, doing that. Next day I did this, or 2 weeks I did that. There is no step by step of a crime. But why do I have to show paperwork? Why? I've already showed you my true identity. You've already got my other paperwork, right? You have the case number. That's just like me doing all the work for you, man. If I do it, you're not going to believe me. Once again, no state will allow you to switch your name up with a charge or a conviction of a pedophile. That does not happen. That would basically give you a clean slate. Do you know that would basically give that predator a clean slate? And do you think any state wants that for a sexual predator to go unnoticed? Is that how you think this society acts, man? That you can just switch your name and you get a clean slate. Not with those type of charges, buddy. Buddy. No state in this country will let you switch your name. For what? You have to register on who you are. You have to register on who you really are. So if they give you a new name, wait, is that gives you a pass to not register no more? So they're gonna actually give you a loophole to okey doke the people? Get off the gas, bro. Get off the gas. You know what I mean? Get off the gas. It makes no sense, man. To me, it makes no sense, right? Maybe to you it does. To me, it doesn't add up. But if you want the paperwork, you have the paperwork. You have the case number. You have the case number. Go pull the case and read the affidavit, the statements, read the step-by-step crime. Just like how Mark told us on video, his method of operation, go on there and show me my method of operation, right? Show me how I operate on this case. Tell me the timeline, the timestamps. What was I doing at this time, that day? When did it happen? How many times? When, where, who, what? What did I say? Or what did I do? What gestures did I did? Everything is in, when there is a crime committed, everything is detailed and reported, right? It's like when somebody shoots somebody, they're like, yeah, he still went over there and kicked them, right? Everything is reported, right? So it paints the picture of the crime. What's going on, Jojo? Chilling, bro. Just letting these dudes know, man, that they have to, if they want to paint me in a picture as a monster, go read the transcripts. Go read the crime. Read the timestamps. What was my role? What was my role? And what was I the aggressor? Was I a victim, witness, lookout? What was my role in the crime? Did I hold them down? Did I tie them up? What was my role? You know, because that's all it is. It's a charge, right? It's not a crime. Because if there would have been a crime committed, the state of Texas would have not gave me a no bill. That's what you have to understand. Right? That's the only, and that's why Youngblood, me and Youngblood have not had any kind of interactions, right? We haven't like been up, what's up? No. But Youngblood knows the truth, right? So he's over there being the voice of reasoning, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, you defending Noel. Why are you defending Noel? Me and Youngblood, we're cool, but he has no reason to defend me other than that's the truth, right? And that's why y'all can't stand Youngblood, right? Because at the end of the day, Youngblood is the voice of reasoning, right? He tries to make you understand, but you still choose not to. So now the only thing you can do is go pull the transcripts. Go pull the affidavits. Go pull the statements. Go pull the crime scene. Go pull everything that helps build the case and convict somebody, right? It's all there. It's all there, right? It's all there. It's going to show what I did, my role, what I said, what happened, right? What happened? There's no crime because nowhere is it going to say, I did this, I forced this, I did that, I did that. You have to think the district attorney, the DA is reviewing this. They're going through it. They're the ones that have your freedom in their hands. Yep. And that's what people don't understand, man. That case numbers can get pulled up and everything from that case can get produced. Everything. And then once that black and white comes, you hand it to somebody and then people can make their own opinion about it, right? Once they see that there's no crime, they're going to look at, okay, where's the crime at? And what I mean, the crime, they're going to be like, when, what, who, what, where. What happened, where, and who did it. They're going to look at the timestamps. Okay, this says here, this day you did this. Damn, you're a sick fuck, man. You said you did it this day, and this says you did it that other day. This is like you did it 20 fucking times, bro. You a sick fuck, right? It's all going to say everything. It's all going to say the nature of the crime. If there is a crime that existed or was committed, or was it just a charge, right? Somebody saying something to get somebody in trouble. What was it? What was it? But then see, now it's for you to go do your job. Populate the transcripts. That's what I tell them, bro. That's no different than a random chick saying you did something to her, and they're gonna come pick your ass up, man. All you need is the testimony of any kind of crime victim to get the ball rolling, right? That victim itself is not gonna get you convicted, but it'll get you the ball rolling, which means you're gonna have to go to court. You're gonna have to go hire a lawyer. You're gonna have to go prove your innocence. That's the power of a victim statement, right? I can call and make a false police report on somebody. I won't get in trouble until hopefully during the trial, right? When it comes out that I lied, right? But before then, the guy might say, you know what? I'll take a deal, man. I'll cop out. I don't want to go to trial, right? When seeking illegal, like I don't understand what you're saying right there, man. God, you can't change your name, man. No, no state is going to let you change your name if you're a registered sex offender, man. That is not going to happen, man. That's just giving you, the sex offender, a clean slate. That's not going to happen, man. Nobody's going to give a registered sex offender, he's not going to be able to switch his name, man. There's only certain people, like this dude, right? This guy right here. Let me see. Hold on. This guy right here. This guy. No bill. A no bill. Do you know what a no bill is? No bill, not no bill. No bill. A no bill. A no bill. A no bill. Do you know what a no bill is? No bill, not no bail. Two different things. Are two different, man. You see, no bail and no bail are two different legal terms, man. No bail is that the judge says no bail for you, like Diddy. No bail for Diddy, right? He couldn't post a bond. No bill means the state of Texas or any kind of state says you're innocent, right? They reviewed all the evidence, all the testimony, and they say you're not guilty, you're innocent, right? That's a no bill. A no bill. Yeah, that's what it is, bro. It's low IQ, right? It's low IQ, man. Because just do your research, man. If you want to categorize me in the same sense as Mark Moore, hey, do your research, man. You know, go find out. Go find out why the state of Texas gave me a no bill. Why? Did I snitch on somebody? Uh, what did I do? All right. I showed you. I guess I guess on my next legal document, I have to show you my birth certificate, man. My original birth certificate, right? Where it clearly shows you Noel Martinez, no middle name, right? I have no middle name. It says MNN, no middle name, right? Noel, no middle name Martinez, right? Dallas County is going to say Dallas County, not no Tarrant County, right? Dallas County. I fall out of Dallas County. I'm born in Dallas County, right? Dallas. So you're going to have to go and see and read the transcripts, right? Read the transcript, read the affidavits, read the testimony, read the crime scene, right? Every crime has a crime scene, right? Go read and say the time frame, you know, at what time did I do this? At what time did I do that? When this. So you don't play no games with kids, right? Show me the conviction. So we're how did I change my name? So we're still that I'm this guy. So what you're telling me is that I'm this guy. So you're saying that I'm this guy. So you're saying that I took the Francisco out of my name. Is that what you're trying to say? That I took the Francisco out of my name. I just left the Noel. Is that what you're telling me? That I took the Francisco out and this is me? This is me right here. Right? This is me. So basically, JT, basically, you're not worried about my no bill. Right? You're basically saying that I changed my name, that I took the Francisco, that I'm this guy. I'm this registered offender. I'm him. Is that what you're saying, JT? That I'm this guy right here. That I switched my name from Francisco to I took it out. Right. I don't get it, bro. Some of these guys are just like, they're like kind of fuck. I hate to call them idiots, but it's just pure ignorance. It's pure ignorance at its finest. I don't know what else to call them, but pure idiotic ignorance, right? Because I'm like, fuck. So you're saying that I took my name from Francisco? I'm this guy, right? I'm this guy. Like, nothing. Like, come on, bro. Like, once again, right there. Look, that's me when I was young, man. Like that. Once again, look. Here go, side by side. Let's put Francisco in the middle, and let's put a picture of me side by side, right? Let's just look at the inconsistencies, right? The inconsistency of this character. You see? You can clearly see this is not me, man. I'm not Francisco. I didn't switch my name. I'm happy with my name my mom and dad gave me. I'm happy with my name, Noel. My name has meaning, right? Because I was born in December, right? And you should already know how many days off I'm from Christmas, right? So what does Noel mean? Christmas, right? Why would I switch my name? I'm happy with my name, man. I've never had a middle name. I've never had a Francisco, Cisco. It's always just been simple, right? And that's the thing, man. I got older brothers, right? They have middle names and two last names, but I'm first generation, man. My mom said that all she could see at the hospital was Noel, right? When she was giving birth, that's all she could see. Noel, 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 all over the walls. So that's why she decided to call me Noel. So I'm proud of my name, man. I wouldn't change it for anybody, right? I wouldn't be ashamed of it. That's the name my mom and my father gave me at my birth. Proud of it, man. I don't have a middle name. So to tell me that you're for the kids and trying to project, hey, you have valid points, man. Towards Francisco, I'm on the same bandwagon as you. Francisco Martinez is a piece of shit, man. I'm on board with that, right? I agree with you. But the only invalid is that I'm not Francisco, right? I'm not Francisco. So what questioning, man? When have I, okay, look, when that document got presented, right? Did I run from it? Did I deny it? Did I hide from it? All I asked was to go do your homework. There's no crime, man. There's no crime, right? Because if there was a crime on that case, I would be convicted, man. I would be convicted, right? Because as far as I know, there's nobody else on that case, right? There's nobody else, right? There's no fall partners. There's no co-conspirators. There's nothing of that nature, right? So I couldn't tell on nobody. Who am I going to tell on myself? Who am I going to tell on? Myself? Is the district attorney going to say, okay, you're going to tell on yourself, we're going to give you a no bill? We're going to consider everything you told us. We're going to find you not guilty, right? You told on yourself, right? Does that make sense? Go look at that case and you will see that there is no crime being committed, right? No crime. There was no crime. There's no victim, right? Because if there was a crime or a victim, I would have not gotten a no bill, right? It's just me, right? There's nobody else in that case, right? It's not like I was able to point the finger at somebody and throw the dirt on them and say, oh, JoJo did it. No, I didn't have anybody, right? So that's why you have to go look at the case. Look at the case, right? There's two things. There's two reasons why the state of Texas or any other state will give anybody a no bill, right? Two things. One, they're going to use you as an enforcement. They're going to use you as a snitch, and they're going to use you for their benefit, right? So they can go and give you a no bill, right? They're going to help you out because you're going at the end you're going to help them out, right? It's like Sammy the Bull. Sammy the Bull got 19 bodies, but they wanted John Gotti, right? So if the state wanted somebody else and they said, hey, you participate with us, we'll give you a no bill, right? But I don't have nobody in this charge. There's nobody else. So the only other reason why they're going to give you a no bill because there was no fucking crime committed to begin with, right? There's only two outcomes for a state to give you a no bill. One, there was never no crime committed. Two, they're going to use you for future cases, right? They're going to use you. They're going to use you. They're going to say, okay, you want to make this go disappear. You're going to help us pin this on this guy. Go do the case. No, it's cool, man. But at the same time, it's valid, man. I'm not mad at you I'm not mad at anybody for having their opinion about that documentary, of that document. I'm not mad, man. I don't get mad, right? I get mad at the assuming and the already opinions already formulated upon me, right? That's where I get mad at, man. I get mad at that, right? I don't get mad. Everybody has the right. I would if I were to see a document, I would probably think, but then at the same time, I would have to give that person the benefit of the doubt. And if I really wanted to know the truth, I would ask him, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't even believe that person, right? I would have to actually go and do the research myself. Yeah, I'll probably take my kid downtown. They got this thing at downtown but it should be packed, man. And hopefully it don't rain. But I'll probably take him out. Because last year, I live across the street from a park, man. So last year, me and my son, we bought some fireworks, man, right? And we went over there and popped them, and we got tickets. So after we got tickets, man, we had to do like fucking missions. We had to go fucking run across the street, set them off, run back home, look around, run back. And it was kind of hectic last year, man. Yeah, no, they have, man. My fucking dogs all night long, they've been crying and howling. 12 o'clock, I had to wake up at 5 o'clock because my dogs just, since 2 o'clock, they stopped around maybe 1 or 2. All night long, just crying and barking, man. Crying and barking. But man, it kind of sucks because people like shooting guns over here, man. I hate that shit. I hate it, man, because tonight, and people be, and it sucks, man, because it's like right around the corner, man. Like it's my neighbors and shit, and I'm like, bro, man, like I get it, man. It feels good shooting off the gun, man. It feels good. Sometimes I feel like coming out here and shooting the gun in the backyard, but I'm like, nah, man, because what if that fucking bullet, comes down and lands on somebody's head, and I don't want to be the cause of that, man. So why do it? Yeah, that's how we were doing it last year, bro. Me and my son, he's the one that got the tickets, right? He got tickets, and I told him, I'm like, man, he got the tickets, right? Because he's dumb, man. I start walking away. You know what I mean? When the cop pulled up, I start walking away. I'm pushing the stroller. You know what I mean? Because I got the fireworks in the stroller. The stroller. I got the fireworks in the stroller. So we're all over here, my family and the kids. And my son, I'm like, just keep on walking. He don't know who it is. Just keep on walking, right? Because he don't know. He just seen the firework from a distance. He didn't visually actually see us light it up and do it, right? He didn't actually see it. So I told my son, just come on. But my son being hard-headed, he stayed back, and we seen you light it. Oh, you didn't see me light it. He goes, yeah, I seen you light it from around the corner. So once my son had them fucking little, he had some of them little fucking sparklers, right? He goes, oh, she goes, no, I was just lighting these up. He goes, nah, you weren't just lighting up the sparklers. Where are the other ones at? See, so if you have sparklers, you have fireworks. Where are the other ones at, right? So, once they catch you talking, they catch you in lies, and they're like, oh, man, wrote them a ticket. Yeah, so I probably take my little boy, man. I just had to address these issues, man, because like maybe I really, in the past, I really didn't address them as well, man. Because it's kind of hard to argue when all these people have already formulated this opinion about you, and it's kind of hard, man. You can't really like take it back. It's like the only way you can take it back is by showing them, and that's the only way they can show it, man. It's like go through the proper documents. Mark won't do that, right? Mark won't do that, right? Mark won't release his records, right? What has Mark got to hide? I don't got nothing to hide. I want you to go through my records for you can see that there was no actual crime. Because if you go through the reports, it's going to tell you the nature of crime, right? And that's all I ask, man. Before you make your assumption and you crucify me and you convict me, give me a fair trial, man. Give me a fair trial. Give me an opportunity. Give me a chance to prove you, right? And if you feel that I'm lying to you, you have the documents to verify it, right? You can always verify through the documents if I'm lying or not, man. It's gonna tell you. You're right, Jojo. It's gonna tell you, man, the nature of if a crime did happen or exist, it's gonna tell you step by step, timeline, time frame. When he did this, he pulled out, he did this, he inserted this. It's gonna tell you the graphic, man. It's gonna tell you into detail what cop arrested you, what you told the cop when they asked you what you were doing. Is it true? Everything, man. But see, they act like they're doing something grandiose. They're not doing nothing but making themselves look like desperate degenerates. They don't Youngblood is the voice of reason. Man, if they would just listen to Youngblood, sometimes, partially, that man has a lot of knowledge, man. Yeah, they do, bro. They do. As a matter of fact, I seen the motherfucker right here since I live across the park right here, they always tend to organize right here, right? Right here or over here on the other side. They'll gather and they'll pull up and they'll let the drone out, right? And they'll go all around here, right? And they did that. No wonder I seen that motherfucking drone, right? And all day yesterday, I felt like Goodfellas, man. It felt like everywhere, every fucking corner I was turning, there was a cop coming. Right? It felt like Goodfellas, man. Every fucking where I turned, there was a cop. But then I remembered, man, it's 4th of July weekend. I started thinking, man, fuck, man, what are these guys on to me now? Are they watching me? Fuck, because it felt like every corner I was taking, there was a cop coming, either coming or going. So I'm like, fuck, what the fuck? My paranoia starts thinking that's the 4th of July weekend, man. They're looking for tickets. And the thing about it is the beginning of the month. They're trying to look for that quota. They got to get that monthly quota. They got to get that monthly tickets for traffic, citations. And what better to do it on the 4th of July holiday? They're going to catch people. No seatbelt, no lights, no headlights, fireworks. They're going to make a lot of money today. They do, bro. When I first bought this house, when I first moved in over here, bro, the cops would always be right here at the fucking front right here, man. Like basically coming out the door, but they'd be at the park facing my house, right? Always. And they still do to this day, right? Because ever since I moved here, I've been home, right? They don't see me go nowhere. They don't see me go to work. They don't see me go nowhere. And they're like, well, what the fuck does this guy do? What the fuck does he do? This guy don't go to work. He's home all day. Who the fuck is paying the bills? How the fuck was so they see the way I look, right? They stereotype me, right? That's why sometimes, man, I wear the same clothes over. I wear my Nike shorts and a white tee, right? I wear the same shit over and over, man. Cause they've already you look nice and they start thinking too much, man. You know, they've already see that you're home all day. They don't see you go nowhere, and they just see you, you know, get off with fast food, and they just think the worst, probably, man. You know, they don't see you going nowhere, right? And then they see my stereo, and they probably ran up my record, and they say, okay, yeah, this guy, he got possessions, you know, but I don't have any traffic to my house, right? I don't have traffic. So after a while, I even called them one day, man. I got frustrated. So I got frustrated one day that I called the local police department. I'm like, man, why are y'all always standing out here in front of my house? What am I doing wrong? And they're like, well, how do you know they're there for you? Well, I'm like, fuck, I just moved here, man. They're always there just looking, facing my house, man. Like, I feel intimidated. You know, because it makes you feel some type of way, man. Believe it or not. Even though you're not doing nothing, it's like, fuck, man, I pay property taxes every fucking year. You know, and those property taxes are your fucking paycheck. So why are you fucking with me, man? I'm not bothering you. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not I'm not drinking outside. I'm not smoking outside. I'm not bothering anybody outside. I don't have any traffic, people coming and going. The cops, the cops were the main reason I built a 10-foot fence, right? I got a 10-foot fence board on board, right? So they can't see shit up on here, right? It's 10 foot. So actually from the concrete all the way up, it's 12 foot. So it's a big ass fence, right? Because it's still the sidewalk still. I did it because I live in the corner, right? I got tired of the cops looking inside my backyard, and I don't want no dolphins jumping over the fence. But that was the main reason I built my fence, man. Because I got tired of being in the backyard and the cops just looking at me. All right. I would cook out and they would just be right there looking at me, man. All right. Because if they would park to where I could see them coming out my front house, or they would park on the other side of the park where I would see them when I was in my backyard. All right. So it was almost like always invading my privacy, man. They were always looking in here, like trying to see like what I was doing. Right. They even flown their drones over my house just to see like if I, because I get it, you know, I smoke. So I'm pretty sure they get the smell every day. You know what I mean? And they probably, oh, this motherfucker probably grown something back there, right? But I'm not doing that type of shit, right? I'm not doing any of that. Matter of fact, I'm on my way to go get next week, man. I'm gonna go get my medical license, man. I need to start making it legit, man. I need to go get my medical license because they have a medical dispensary here in Houston and close to Dallas. There's a couple of medical dispensaries right here, but it's just for medical, right? And I can qualify for the medical. I just haven't been, you know, not really interested because a lot of people say that medical ain't really too good, right? It's not really, the tolerance is not there. I don't know, but it might be some half baked type of shit. You know what I mean? Half baked had that medical marijuana, so I don't know. You know, I need to get it. You know what I mean? Because I be taking this fucking medication, man, for the nerves. I hate it, man. That gabapentin bullshit. It fucking, it gives me fucking like not suicide thoughts, man, but fucking murderous nightmares, man. Like nightmares shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, they do, bro. That's why I'm gonna go get it, man. And then Oklahoma has recreational and medical, so you can go up there. Arizona is medical and recreational too. Uh, And I'm see, like, for my mental health, I like my mental health. I have the fucking I suffer from major depression with psychotic issues, right? With psychotic, like, and I asked the doctor, "What's psychotic, man?" She goes, "Sometimes it's like, it's not that you're crazy, man, but sometimes you have psychotic thoughts, or so you just." And the medication that they give you, man, that I don't like that. That's why I prefer to do natural herb for my anxiety. Because if I didn't smoke, man, I'd be fucking like I'd be twitching, man. My body be it's almost like Smokey on Friday, man. My body just be twitching and shit if I don't smoke. It's just the bad anxiety, man. It's bad anxiety and PTSD. That's all it is, right? It's the anxiety and like a lot of people. My PTSD was from, let's see. I see my first body like at 7 years old, right? I see my first body, right? And the way I see my first body was a guy's head get blown off, right? And when you see a guy's head get blown off, and you see at a young age, it's like it's kind of fucked up, man. And when you actually watch a crime, right, an actual crime like that, at a young age, and you're like, fuck, that shit just happened, and happened in your home, right? It happened in your home, right? And it's like, fuck, it's like, and growing up in a violent home, right? I grew up in a violent home, man, somewhat sort of violent home, right? My father was a man, right? He was a man, and he has a lot of brothers. He has a big family, right? He has a big family, man. So he got like maybe 9, 10 brothers and 3 sisters and whatnot. It's a big family, right? So, and now those are just brothers and sisters. Now you got to take in consideration the cousins, right? So now that's even bigger once you start adding the cousins, right, in the mix, right? So, just like every Mexican culture, man, we have these things called las borracheras, you know what I mean? Where basically the pops and uncles and all the males, after a hard work week, they just drink, right? The rest of the days are just gonna be them getting fucked up, right? And when you have man and alcohol drinking, there's always gonna be turmoil, right? There's always gonna be reminiscing about, oh, you did this, you did that, woo 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 woo, right? Bickering and fighting. And that's what happened, man. It was normal for me to see my uncles fight amongst each other, right? Pull out the blade and want to stab each other and try to shoot each other, shit like that, right? That was the norm for me, right? That my uncles would fight amongst each other, right? And I had a lot of uncles, right, from my dad's side. Like I said, there were 9, and there were a lot of them. So during these borracheras, they would fight, man. And when I say fight, these guys would fight like enemies, right? They would fight like enemies, knowing that they were from the same mother and father. They would actually try to kill each other. And I was, and I'm growing up looking at this shit, right? So me growing up, it seemed like, that it's kind of normal. You know what I mean? Being violent, like it's what I seen, man. And then at 7, 8 years old, man, I see my first body, man. All right. And it's a fucking when you see that look on their face, man, they have this look that's just like, what the fuck? It's like you're thinking that they're gonna say something, but they're not gonna say nothing. It's just a look. So, at a young age, you see that type of shit, man, and then jumping off the porch at a young age, at 12, 13 years old, didn't help the cause either, because now not only you continue to see more shit and more shit and more shit and more shit, right? And it's almost like I can understand why I have anxiety, right? I can understand my anxiety and my PTSD, right? I can understand it. But because the mind, man, the mind can only take so much trauma, man. There's people, there's people that get into one car accident and they have PTSD for the rest of their life, man. They will never want to get in the car. They will never want to, you know, something will cause them to have PTSD and they will never want to, they will never be the same again. And it's kind of sad, man, that I seen, basically an uncle, man. I guess he would have been my uncle, or if he was my dad's cousin, I guess he would have probably been my uncle, right? But it's kind of sad, man, that you know I grew up like this, right? I like man that were supposed to love each other because they're brothers will fight like animals, man, right? I'm like, damn, these guys, I had one stab one, the other one shot the other one. And it's like, fuck, man. Like, it's you kind of grow desensitized to it because it's like, fuck, you know, if I don't care, if these guys didn't care about their own brother, I sure definitely don't know in hell that they cared about the next man that they didn't know, right? If they hated their own fucking brother and they were willing to fucking basically kill their own brother, it's wild, man. And to think about it, man, but back then, see, back then in the 80s, man, in the 80s, so much shit, people were getting away with so much shit, right? And to this day, man, nobody got charged with that murder, right? It was labeled, I guess, like a suicide or whatever. But back then, I guess, the cops, especially, the cops, being American cops and then coming and investigating a crime scene where people just spoke Spanish. I guess it kind of helped them at that point, right? It wasn't really that big of a deal, man. Not like it is now. Now they're gonna want to know who did what, who did it. They don't care, man. Back then it was like on the domestic violence, man. Back in the day, the officers wouldn't do shit, right? They wouldn't do shit. They would just tell you, hey, look, we're officers, but we don't intervene in marriage problems, right? That's the way the police of the 80s, right? The cops of the 80s and the early 90s were like, well, we're not going to interfere into the household. You know what I mean? We're not going to interfere. Now, not until the 2000s, when all these women started being, murdered by their husbands and boyfriends, that's when they started taking domestic violence seriously, right? Seriously, to the point to where if a girl calls and says you did something, they're picking your ass up, right? Before, they would be like, oh, maybe, give your husband some time, let him cool off, uh, take the kids to the park. Uh, that's how it was in the 80s, man. I grew up in the 80s, right? I seen a lot of violence in the 80s, right? And half of the shit that was going on in the 80s wasn't going on today. Wouldn't be allowed, man. Right? It wouldn't be allowed. Now, a female calls the cops and says something, man, they're coming picking you up, bro. They're coming picking you up. Back then, man, it'd be all night before the cops come. For a home disturbance, they wouldn't come. They felt it wasn't their place to intervene in a household. That was the mentality of any police department in the 80s. They did not want to interfere, right? They felt that that wasn't their place. Not until recently, when all these females started getting massacred and by their boyfriends or husbands, and that's when these laws started getting, okay, domestic violence is going to get taken seriously. Any kind of family violence is going to get taken seriously, right? Because I can remember, man, when my uncles used to fight and my aunts would call the cops, right? My aunts would call the cops on my uncles because they would try to kill each other. And my uncles, once the cops would come, my uncles would split, right? They would fucking take off through the apartments and they would go hide out somewhere through the apartment complex, right? And the cops would come and be like, "What's going on? Okay, everybody, if it's family business, y'all just calm it down." And it wasn't that big of a deal, right? Now you try to do that shit, everybody going to jail. Family violence, everybody going to jail. But back then, man, my uncles would fight, try to stab each other, even stab each other, right? And the cops wouldn't take them. It would just, calm things down, and that was it. It wasn't really thought of too much, man, to interfere in the household. Not how it is now. Now, bro, it's like I tell my son, man. I said, bro, man, you got it lucky with me, man, because my dad, it was just one simple no, right? And if I continue asking him something at the store, best believe it was either a hit across the back of the head or across the ass. Stop fucking asking, right? Stop fucking asking. And there goes my little bitch ass crying, right? Right? But having my kids, I changed that. I never hit my kids, man. My son is 21, my daughter's 20, my son's 7. I've never physically hit either one of them, right? Never. Why? Because my dad will punish me, man. My dad would, like I said, my dad would punish me like sometimes like a kid off the street, right? Sometimes he would punish me like you know, like if I was his enemy, right? Like if I was just some kid off the street, man. One time my pops whooped me he whooped me with the hose from the car, man. One of them water hoses from the actual vehicle, them big old rubber hoses. That man whooped my ass with that, man. He hit me across the motherfucking head with that fucking rubber hose pipe, right? Left me a motherfucking uh, mark and fucking stung like a motherfucker, right? But the man didn't know no better, man. That was just their way of disciplinary, right? I mean, I don't hold nothing against them. I don't. It is what it is, right? All I could do is when I had my kids was not do the same, right? So even through my kid was fucking up and I was getting calls from school, you know, my son started fucking off as in juvenile, right? And juvenile, I had to go to fucking classes for him, right? I had to go here, there, you know, all his fuck ups as a juvenile were my fuck ups, right? Because I had to go meetings, I had to go to classes, I had to participate, right? I had to be involved in everything he did, right? As a juvenile, I did my part, right? I never once whooped him, right? I would yell and scream and holler at the top of my lungs, but I would never whoop him, right? Never, never, right? And my mom and my dad seen that, right? And they figured that out why I didn't hit him, right? They know why I don't hit my kids, right? Because I wouldn't want to put my kids through what I went through, right? But that's because they didn't know better. I knew better, right? I knew better, right? I'm like, I'm not gonna hit my kids. I'm not gonna discipline my kids like that. I'm not gonna discipline my kids out of anger, right? Because when you discipline somebody out of anger, you go further than just a discipline, right? A discipline is to try to correct somebody's actions, not to fucking basically hurt them, right? And that was the difference back then, man. You know, Parents back then, it wasn't about discipline. It was really to hurt you. You know what I mean? make you understand that what you were doing was wrong, make you think twice. But at the same times, sometimes it just, it got to the point where like, man, fuck, I can just take an ass whooping. I mean, it comes to what is he gonna do? Just whoop my ass? Oh fuck it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So it defeats its purpose. It defeats its purpose that the intimidation. It gets thrown out. It's like nobody's more scared of that no more, right? Oh shit, my phone's about to die, bro. All right, man. I got 5%. I'm gonna chop it up with y'all here in a little bit. I'll probably go get me a bottle of Henny and talk some more nonsense. I'll talk to you later, Jojo. Y'all have a good one, man.